d4. Okay. Basically start off like that. We see knight c6. He takes right away. I think it's important, though, to play bishop here, because if we had played knight d2, I think there was an e5 move to be played. So let's stick with the queen. The interesting thing is that, you know, e5 is a little bit easier to achieve when our knight's not on f3. So kind of thinking to myself, what are we going to do here? Okay, he does go there. I'm not convinced that's the way to go. I'm very interested in playing this and kind of allowing him to take. I'm actually going to try that. Okay, he's not quite interested in that. There is always c3, but I just feel like again, e5 is going to be happening. So I think with this one, I'm almost interested in castling, because I can't castle kingside without giving that up. So let's go here. I presume he'll have to take. If we castled, I didn't want the knight showing up there. And now the moment of truth. Yeah, we can't allow e5 here, I think. So I think queen g3 is going to be the move. Obviously, knight e4 we have to take. Okay, he's not really going to be getting that in. Knight f5 will allow the knight to go to e4, so I think we have to be a bit careful of that one as well. So yeah, maybe is it like an f3 moment? Cover that, move our queen. Try to move these. I think queen d6 might get played here, but our king's in the middle of the board, so yeah, it seems like he's interested in that. Let's start to move these pawns. Knight here is just going to be like a temporary setback. Again, with this, I'm not sure that I see it. I'm just going to continue on this side. Yeah, he's really wasting a lot of time. Don't know what these moves are doing. And our king is very safe here in the middle. And I think this one makes a lot of sense, but h6, probably the smartest, because you just cannot play g6. So let's try this. Knight g6, queen h2. We could also take it, but queen h2 is feeling pretty smart. Take on g7 is... Oh. Okay, we'll have to take that. I mean, we don't have to, but I think it makes sense. And if we take here, we're threatening checkmate, so... Oh, like I said, we're threatening checkmate. He said, not worth my time. So pretty unusual that your opponent would just like pin the knight and then unprompted capture. Didn't even wait for h3. So a little bit weird there. And I think because of that, he got a little bit better control over e5 than most of our opponents. But I actually really didn't mind this at all. Taking on d2, I think we hold an advantage after this. Queen g3 is nice. Again, we're playing against e5. Not letting him get that move for free. And yeah, I thought this made a lot of sense. Bishops are really, really strong here. He has no tension, no pressure on our center pawns. So it's kind of a big advantage for white, actually. And that's a pretty nice win. Yeah, anytime you see knight c6, they're probably going for an early bishop there, which is why I've been reacting to knight c6 with b3, because I really want to get a piece controlling e5 as quick as possible. An example is like, I don't know, bishop here. and like knight d2 and then e5, and all of a sudden you just, yeah, you don't have that control over e5 that you're supposed to have in this system. And if they play e5, I just don't really care for the position after. It's at best like equal or at least even, and I don't think we want that. All right, d4, wait for the response. This immediately, I was gonna say we're probably gonna see d6 with it, and because we do see d6, I like to just play bishop e2, like, you know, play with c4. e5 honestly looks like it can be taken right now. Normally e5, maybe he has knight there. He has knight d7 here. I think we'll still do it though. Knight d7, knight c3, I think is notorious for being pretty decent position for white, like this structure. Well, this is the most interesting move. I'm not sure that it's the best. And the damage there is we have a very strong bishop. We have a knight maybe coming in, but objectively, probably not that great. So obviously that's gonna entice me to do it. Yes, you have to take a rook now. This really changes the entire game here. Obviously, he would be up more material if he took a queen, so I think this is key. Let's bring the knight out. Double the rooks on this pawn, most likely, especially if like c6, knight e4 starts to become a pretty decent idea. Queen here with knight g4 doesn't really pose a threat, so this is looking like a knight d5 moment. A lot of just various threats here, and this one is definitely irrelevant. Knight c7 looks very strong. Okay, so knight f6 definitely looks like the one we want. Could be e7, but then the knight's truly trapped. So yeah, I think we go here, we take this, and all of a sudden that knight is under fire. And g4 is covered, so we don't even have to worry about that one anymore. Maybe queen g5. Definitely be very helpful for us. I mean, queen g5 also drops the queen a different way, but yeah, for some reason it seems very plausible. The knight's hit, and it doesn't really have good squares to go to. King here, bishop takes e5 covers everything, and you just start to panic, like, where does the knight go? So, like, queen g5 is almost the move you land on. All right, knight takes c4. Obviously, recapture here. Yeah, maybe queen g5 now. Just hoping for that the entire time. We want to double the rooks, and look, everything. Yeah. I mean, this is what I was saying, guys. There's just it's like impossible that we didn't see queen g5 this game. Yeah, it's just way too likely. Way too likely. It's like right in front of you. You know it's a blunder, but you just do it anyway. I don't know. I can't explain it. Like, you know it's wrong, but you're like, but shit, I don't have anything else to do, so queen g5. I mean, what else? Yeah, so the computer will probably say that black's doing pretty decent here, but only slightly, and I would say in practice, white would have a great time playing this. So yeah, anytime you're up against this, just my advice, I mean, you can still do it, but I definitely prefer not to play positions like this. I don't really care for them. They're a little bit hard to play because you don't have 95 and f4. So I think you just change the plan entirely. Go for bishop e2, castle, c4, knight on c3, never knight on d2 here. And yeah, play in the center. Just like literally bring all the rooks to the center, h3 at some point. Very, very easy game. All right. Okay, we see g3, which gives us a little bit more room to kind of go for our opening here. Yeah, this is not bad. Okay, so yeah. Kind of have this set up here, and we get this. So you can imagine if things were like perfect and I was playing with the white pieces, obviously I'd rather this bishop here, c5, and then knight on c6 to match the setup I usually go for. But because we're already here and we're up against this, we'll make it work. No problem. c4. Love to see this move if possible. Knight c3. Let's go a6. I do not want to see knight to b5, as we know. I'd really like to see this move, so maybe I could play knight c5 and kind of, yeah. He's going to play this instead, though, which makes much more sense for his position. Still, I'm looking at knight c5 as an interesting option. Also, bishop a3. d4 does not seem like the kind of thing we want to play. Yeah, I'm thinking knight c5 is a reasonable try at first. I'm going to bring the pieces to the middle, h6, but we just don't have time for h6. Okay, that's a bit of a strange one. Because we played knight c5 to attack that pawn. And, ooh, takes. He's just, well, I almost feel like taking with the knight is the way to go because, you know, it has the extra benefit of, you know, winning more material there if he doesn't take back properly. Or doesn't realize that we have a knight on his e1 square. That works as well, yeah. Okay. This is the hanging piece speedrun. I really don't know what to tell you. I feel like everyone in chat could be 14-41 by just taking the pieces that their opponents hang. We're really not doing anything too crazy here. Yep, this is another crushing game, but again with the black pieces. At least here we got to set up our position. This felt a little bit better. Okay, let's go d4. Okay. c6. And yeah, this one looks like we'll have a lot of time to set that up. I'm less concerned about e5 at the moment, but that's a developing story. Okay, now anytime we play this, it's going to be an exchange straight away, so that'll be really easy to navigate. Castle. Seems like he has to take. He could definitely go back bishop there, but as we know from this series, we don't usually get tempted into taking. This move, in general, is bad. I mean, clearly he's ready to sack, right? If he's not ready to sacrifice, this move doesn't make a lot of sense. Even if he is ready to sacrifice, this move might not make a lot of sense. I think g4 is perfectly fine here, but I'll probably recommend just one other move first. c4. Essentially, if he wants to castle here, I'd like to see it. And if he's going to castle here, then I feel a little more empowered playing g4. So I'll put the question back to him. Show your hand. He decides to go here. It's interesting. Don't tell me. I was gonna say, don't tell me. Are we doing it again? Not the hanging piece speed run. All right, lots to break down here. First of all, he's forcing e5. He's not in a position to do it. His king's also in the middle, so it does not make a lot of sense to open things. We have another hanging pawn in the center of the board. Taking on e4 nets us another pawn, so even if we lose this one, we're still fine there. That's probably what we're gonna do. And then on top of everything, we have the move g4. That's the kicker, is that despite like everything you see here, we have g4 that's just waiting to be played. So it's almost like there's so much going on here that's wrong that you can lose your objectivity. But yeah, he's opening the center before he's castled. He's played bishop to h5, which is clearly a bad move. Okay, I think this is one we're taking. And after bishop takes, I might just throw this one in first. I'm not sure that it really matters, but castling is pretty much the only thing that I could expect here. It's probably not the best move. We have a number of ways to continue now. I guess we'll start with this check and see where he goes, but we can get a free rook move as well, because the queen has to stay protecting the bishop. So this definitely looks worthwhile. Probably queen here. And I think I'll throw in this check, mainly because I'm expecting the king will go there, or the queen going there might be even worse. Let's see. Check. Has to go up. Another check. Might have to go up again. Walking into a nice checkmate here. Yeah, he decides to take. That's probably the best decision. Can't say going up the board is correct in general. Like, kind of has to be incorrect. So the question is, how? And I feel like there's a number of ways. Let's give another check. Might go for this one. And it seems like this king is one we can corral. King only has a couple squares, and I think there's checkmate regardless. GG. Definitely got our setup here. But again, we've just done, like, pat yourself on the back if you've done such a good job preventing e5 that your opponent wants to do it anyway when it's not correct. Obviously here g4 is probably the best move, but I don't really want to entertain the sacrificial shenanigans that my opponent is prepared for. And here, there's like a clear error here. There's an error with e5. The king is in the middle. There's too many things wrong at once. Something's got to give. So if our opponent played properly and didn't play e5, maybe this move would have to happen so the bishop doesn't get lost, or we'd have to see castling. But then this makes more sense because it's a lot less dangerous when the kings are castled on the same side. Or maybe we'd see this, but then suddenly you're risking quite a lot over here. And you can still lose a piece at any time. So the setup worked very nicely there. All right, let's play Laz. Bring the knight out. Okay, we see early bishop f5. I think that's going to get me to play b3. again, getting ahead of that stuff. And yeah, e3, bishop d3 is coming. Probably see like c5, knight c6 by black. Knight c6 first, I think, would be less good. Not as powerful. Always really having to think here. I wonder about what. Makes me wonder if he's here. What could he be thinking about? Okay, does play c5. Makes a lot of sense. We will play bishop d3. I still think both ways make sense, but I'll probably recapture with the queen here. So, queen here actually does come... I mean, yeah, I guess I could call it a threat at the moment. It kind of comes with a threat of playing c4. And I'm hoping that... I mean, if our knight was already on d2, we could play this move a little bit more confidently. So I think we're probably just going to leave this here and play knight d2 anyway. But it would be nice if we were already castled, because it could be a nice reaction. c4 takes, queen takes, and at that point, rook to b1. Okay. Well, that bishop move is going to mean that I think c4 now can always be met with that. So with that being said, let's continue with our natural plan here. Knight e5, and I know we're missing a light squared bishop, but we're still going to go for the same stuff here. I don't know why I'm thinking of queen a6, but it does lose a piece. One of the bad things about our position, and great for our opponent, is because the bishops have been traded, the c file is definitely a lot weaker than than you'd think. Let's take that back. Just like, you know, queen c7 immediately might have some problems there to deal with. This is our plan. We want to take with the f pawn almost always. And yeah, like rook f3 can be tried. g4, g5. We have a very loose position here. Very aggressive. Probably the best part about our position is that the guy's just spending a ton of time. Like, I feel like he's just not enjoying being attacked. Don't underestimate the fact that you're just on the attack in this series. Okay, we're definitely getting some good positions because of it. Now, knight takes e5 is a threat. It's very important to be aware of this diagonal in this opening when the queen is there. So let's not play, for example, rook f3 and blunder knight takes e5. That's a big mistake. Knight f3 seems like the safest. One thing that might happen here is we might be required to play c3. Let's wait and see. Can we play this one? I really don't care for queen there, which sort of gets a queen trade. So I will play knight here. Okay, maybe the pieces can slide over a little bit. Yeah, so he's gonna put pressure here. I probably need to kind of do the same in defense. And then my king, I think, also needs to step away from this diagonal. Like, it's not very comfortable there. So let's try to make space for this king. I'm not seeing any specific pressure with that move. Okay, all of a sudden he seems to have kind of like woken up a little bit. Like he's moving, you know? Let's stop that. Okay, you see this move? I think it's probably one we take. And let's focus some attention on that pawn. All right. Oh, that does not look like the move. Played c3 here mainly to safeguard everything entirely, but okay. Definitely did not expect queen there. At some point I realized this guy's not really thinking about his moves. He's kind of just playing them, so those people can be flagged. He got definitely one of the, you know, better positions for this opening. Still, I approach it with a lot of confidence from white because you just have to be a lot more careful. There's a lot of pressure on this pawn, and if we had a bishop on d3, you can imagine there's just no pressure, nothing to deal with, nothing to worry about, zero. But without the bishop there, he can add some pressure, and we need to either like defend it this way. You saw how long I basically held out without playing c3, but it sucks because if I bring my bishop back to use it, there's going to be like rook c3. And if I play c3, I'm losing my b pawn. So it's a tough spot because I can kind of build up pressure, but it feels like I at some point maybe would play like g4, g5. So yeah, a slower game, but we were up a ton on time, and that's a big asset in this opening. You're gonna probably be up on time, and we got to take in the center like this, so this is always a big achievement. And if you get this position with your bishop, it's even better. All right, we have the white pieces. Let's go for our opening, and based on what we see here, guys, this should already indicate that this is a bishop e2 kind of game with c4 and with knight c3. That is a very strange move. Even the move knight d2, like I almost want to play it just to see what he's planning to play against it, because it is a little bit strange, this one, knight h5, but sure, we'll leave it for now. Bring the knight up. Takes, knight takes could be played. I'm a little annoyed actually that the knight's coming to d4, so probably knight takes and bishop takes h5 could be played just to stop that, or at least have a better answer for it. We could even take now, and now the bishop has f3 as an option. Yeah, I don't mind that. More annoyed when the knight was on f3 because then, yeah, the bishop didn't have great squares, but here I think it does. Okay, well, we're being gifted a pawn here, so I'm just gonna kind of take it and get out of dodge. Rook to e1 next. Got an easy free pawn. I like this system quite a bit. h3 also a nice move to play. Bishop g4 looks like a capture, and then we gain a bit of time by playing this one as well. Queen h4. So my guess is that the knight is returning to h5. I think there's a very high likelihood of that. Also bishop to h6. These are moves that I am expecting. So how's, you know, knight b5, for example. Those are the types of moves I'm thinking about here. Might just play here and see what he's planning. Yeah, bishop there, I think the knight can... Oh, that's surprising to me, just because it trades so many pieces in a relatively easy way. rook here makes sense. Also queen up. Let's do the rook. Taking control of the e file is pretty nice. And we have that extra pawn that we took ages ago on b7. So I'm liking this position. We have a potentially funny tactic, but it would require some energy from him. I'm not sure that he has it, but rook f8. Yeah, queen takes c4. I was thinking of rook e8 in order to take back the queen successfully. Not only is a trade good, but I'm secretly eyeballing the a7 pawn that I think we are going to take that. And we can just come right back. And let's see what we can do. Obviously, we'd like to trade these queens. Obviously, he's not going to be interested in that. H-pawn, let's use it as a weapon. Pretty safe position. I was thinking like g5, queen f6, this kind of stuff. Rook e7 as well. I feel like he's pretty stuck here, so I was hoping that, well, he can't take, so pretty brutal position, right? He's doesn't have any moves there. GG. This is like a position you can't really get out of. And because of that, it will make our position fairly easy to pre-move at the end. Once again, anytime we have this setup, I prefer not bishop d3, knight d2, but bishop e2, knight c3, and I never put the knight on c3 without the pawn in front, so that's exactly how it has to happen. And we didn't do this much this game except just trade pieces. That's pretty much it. And the funny tactic I was thinking about was queen takes c4, which looks like a tactic, but rook e8 is a way where we can safely recapture that queen. Okay, let's go. d4, we bring the knight out. Bishop there. I think we also have been playing b3 against this. a3 just to stop that. Oh, he plays a6. That's good for us. We like to see our opponents spending times on moves like that. Let's go bishop d3. As you know, we always do this stuff. Knight here to cover that, and queen e7. Guys, e5 is threatened. We've covered knight here. We've covered knight here. We've covered e5. Now it's threatened. You already know. Knight e5. That's what we're here to do. Okay, throw in the f pawn as well. h6 is a phenomenal move for us to see, because now if knight d7 and f6, for example, there's just going to be an exchange hanging. Yeah, knight here. I think we could castle. f5, knight g6, f6, queen g6. There's lots of reasons why knight there doesn't look great. And what did I tell you guys? h6 played. It's a terrible move. This is why. And in this particular case, not only am I able to win the exchange, but I'm also going to take the knight at the end. So it's, well, the game's over. And our opening has been a phenomenal success. We could take this one. We can also go here. I think we'll do that. So yeah, this game is definitely a great example of the opening. Just very, 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 very easy to play. We're not even going to take his queen. We're going to take his rook first, and then his queen. I mean, get this guy out of here. This is why we play this opening. So easy. So easy. You can play it too. Anytime your knight's on e5 and you see h6, you should be licking your chops, because you know that at some point that f pawn is going to move and the g6 square will be useful by at minimum one of your pieces. And we're only at 14.99. It's not good enough. I'm sorry. I can't leave us like that. It's just, it's not going to make me feel comfortable. We get the white pieces. Let's see if we can make it to 1500 once again with the white pieces. Okay. Bishop here, so controlling that e5 square. We see g5, which looks... I don't know what the right word is, but ambitious. I'll give him ambitious. Don't. Okay, good. Just gonna say, don't tell me we're getting something real nasty here. Queen there. Immediately I'm thinking that the likelihood that he just blunders everything like that is very high. So let's play a3 and just let him. Knight d2. We can also play f4, because if he takes, we could maybe use our other knight or our queen to take back. So I think this actually makes decent sense here. Knight d2. And yeah, I do like the move f4, even though he can take. First of all, I could take back with the pawn and just put the pawn on f4. That makes a lot of sense. But also there's like queen and knight takes as well, which both look like pretty good options actually. So I think we're probably going to go for that. Question is really how we want to take back. Almost every single recapture to me looks good. Knight takes, I think I don't care for because of knight e4. So I'm between the queen and the pawn. Pawn takes, followed by f4 is just nice and clean, easy to follow, very understandable. We always want a pawn on f4, but queen takes, I'm wondering if we can get away with. Can we play this move? I'm really liking the pawn. I like the f4 pawn. It feels very uncomfortable for someone to deal with. Okay, he plays knight there. This is kind of why we wanted this. And if we see f6, it's going to be the same thing. Okay, so f takes, right? I'm thinking for a sec about this one, but I think we keep it standard and just capture with this pawn. Yeah, if we saw f6 there, there's no h pawn, so g6 square is way too weak. Attacking this, we do need to defend that. I think it's got to be queen here or queen f3. Both are going to be met with bishop g4, so it's kind of identical. Especially because I think my reaction after bishop there is going to be queen f2, and then we'll just kick the bishop out with our pawn. And definitely do not want to take there and allow queen takes e3. We would get completely destroyed there. Okay, there's f6. I think like nothing makes more sense than just starting with h3. It's a very annoying piece. I kind of want to castle, and it's not letting me. Okay. Some pressure. I'm assuming that he's going to castle this way. He could grab this pawn. He could also... I thought this was blunder. It's one of the reasons why we played that. But also just to stay active. I mean, you can't forget that this is a very aggressive opening, and in a situation like this, I don't know. I'm not really just going to sit there and play like queen f4 and try to, okay, take here, right? And is there anything better? I don't think so. So we do have this check. I think we want to throw it in because we could play bishop f5 after. I mean, there's queen f5 too, but somehow the bishop feels more correct. Rook there. It's like, is there no special move for me here? This is a pretty boring check to play. Like, I'm not that impressed by myself there. Take that. And castling feels correct. All right, bring the pieces into the middle. I do like a queen move here. Rook g1, control e6. Queen e2 feels like the right move to play there. Get that knight in. I like this pin. Hopefully another trade for us. Hopefully another trade for us. And the trades are definitely helping, so. I don't know if that's... Okay, there's a problem there. He doesn't quite catch it, so we will take the win by checkmate. Finally enter the 1500s. Woo! We did it. We made it. Let's go. We got to use our setup here. I think one of the move orders that we're getting used to is the knight prompts me to quickly go b3 and bishop b2. Because if you're playing the other move order like bishop d3 and knight d2, you're getting caught by early bishop g4. They take your knight or at least pin it, and then they go e5. And you're caught off guard. So I need pressure on e5 immediately. Thank you for making it to the end of another episode of the Colle Zukertort speedrun. It's definitely one of the easiest attacking weapons to learn in chess, so I hope that this series is making it easier to understand. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already and turn on post notifications so you do not miss our next episode.